Back on the record. Mr. Colquhoun, do you have another witness?
Janet Todd, please.
And Ms. Todd, I recognize this may be a formality at this point, but would you please state your full name for the record?
Yes, Janet Emma Todd.
And raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to provide is the truth, will be the truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may be seated.
Ms. Todd, what is your what is your current position right now?
I am suspended from the town manager of Greenwood, Delaware.
How long have you been the town manager?
Since August 13th, 2019.
Now, have you read the charges against you?
Yes,
And the initial charge was failure to discharge your duty to maintain accurate financial records and ensure timely completion of audits. Can you tell us what was the state of the finances when you first became town manager?
yes. There had been an audit done in 2019 by a firm, Blank, Johnson and Hall. I went out for surgery, and while I was out, they deleted several pages of checks and invoices and things. So the audit had to be redone, and Mr. Godwin, the previous town manager, put out an RFP for a new auditor. So when I started, 2019 had not been redone.
Okay, and when did you become the acting town manager?
March 2021.
Okay. And who was, every year you've been town manager, you reviewed the town charter, right?
Yes,
And it looks like there's an obligation on the town council's part to appoint an auditor every year to conduct an audit, correct?
yes.
Okay. And was that done every year that you've been a town manager?
It has never been done since I was a town manager.
So, the town council and the mayor never appointed an auditor every year?
No.
Okay. And just going through the records, I'm gonna go, if you can go to Exhibit 2.
Can I move my chair?
Sure, of course.
Which book are we in?
This is plaintiff's Exhibit 15, Todd Exhibit 2.
Okay, thank you.
Do you recognize this document? And I believe it's already been entered in evidence as Todd 2.
Yes.
And what is this document?
This is a document from Wigglesworth, Layton Lawyers and Chance to do all the bank reconciliations. They were recommended by PKS auditors when they were hired.
And why were they hired regarding to do the reconciliation of accounts for all those years?
They were hired, they were gonna put back in all of the entries that had been deleted, and then they were gonna reconcile all the bank statements from that and make sure everything was correct. And the reason they were one of the reasons they were doing that is because of the extreme difficulty to reconcile the general bank account.
And what were the difficulties in reconciling the joint bank, the general bank account? Or is it joint bank account or joint general bank account?
General.
Okay.
When the bank statement comes for the general bank account, every time somebody pays with a credit card, whether online or here in the office, it goes right to the bank. And then when the bank statement comes, you would have to take your slips and you'd have to try to add up a whole bunch of deposits to try to equal different numbers. And that's how they did it when I was hired, and it became impossible to do.
Okay, and what steps did you take in order to, and did you communicate that to town council?
Yes.
And what was their response?
That's when we decided to find somebody, and they said get somebody that the auditors recommended, and that's how we got Wigglesworth.
Okay, and did they actually complete this task?
As far as I know, when I was suspended, it wasn't done, but they were working on it. They would have me load bank statements into a portal, a share file portal, and then they would work on them from there.
And did you give updates to town council as far as what was going on with these accounts?
This letter that you're talking about here was in a packet. I don't remember the month, so that they could see it. And then I did say that they could come to a meeting, give an update if they'd like. But, I did also present them with the PKS letter stating that the audits were delayed because of this.
Now, it's been alleged that you failed to provide PKS with documents on a timely basis. Do you recall there being testimony by the investigator regarding that?
Yes, I heard that.
Okay. And what was your relationship like with PKS?
Very good. They would call me they would call first and follow up with an email of a list of things that they needed, or tell me on the phone what they needed, and then they would have them, I would load them also to a portal that PKS had, and I don't remember what it's called. But whatever they requested, I would download into that portal. There came a time where it was hard. Let me stop for a second. The previous town manager had no filing system, so we had a lot of difficulty finding items. But PKS was very patient and worked with me well, and
Were the problems a result of, did the problems predated your time as town manager?
yes,
And did PKS acknowledge that?
yes.
And did they acknowledge that publicly?
I believe they acknowledged it at the May 14th meeting.
Okay. And what happened at the May, it was the May 14th, 2025 PK meeting with the auditor?
Yes,
And that was a public meeting?
yes.
Okay, and can you tell us what PKS presented to the town council?
They presented an update on the audit, and they went over, how the process works, and they told them they were almost finished. I don't know, I think it was 2020, but again, that's again. They were almost finished that. The council said, okay, what's the time frame for the next years? And they said, again, I think 6 to 8 weeks for each year, and
At some point in time, did PKS visit town council?
yes.
Okay, and what did they visit town council for?
They came to give them updates. They visited, I think, twice that I remember, on not 2 different dates.
Well, did they actually come to town hall?
Yes,
And why did they come to town hall?
because I would request a letter from them with an update, and council didn't want the letter. They wanted to be able to ask them questions, so they came in person.
Okay. Now, there's this allegation that they want PKS here on a monthly basis, or they wanted them to come for a meeting that you did not notify PKS of. Do you recall that allegation?
Yes.
And what happened regarding PKS and being presenting here?
When they didn't come?
When they didn't come, yes.
Yeah, the one meeting they did not come to, Erica or Ashley, I don't remember which one, stated they had a previous engagement. They would have to rearrange it, but they could if it was like urgent that they needed to be here. But it would be $1,000. And then the next time, Mr. Massey told me to cancel them because it's costing the town $1,000. And they said they didn't really have an update. They were just still working on that meter.
Okay, and did you communicate that town council?
Yes.
Now if you could put this binder aside, I'm going to go to the exhibits of the town of Greenwood. We're gonna go back and forth a little bit. And I'll just point you out here. And one of the investigator's findings, he stated that there was numerous documentation of emails where you did not provide PKS with, verifying that you did not provide PKS with documentation. We go to exhibit 25. These appear to be emails between yourself and Ashley Stern.
Yes.
And who's Ashley Stern?
She is one of the partners at PK.
And the investigator had testified that these were the records that, I don't know, have these exhibit 25 been entered?
Yes.
Okay, so he represented that there was documentation that he saw where it stated that you had not provided documents to PKS. And if you go to, this looks to be April 10th, 2025 email from Ashley Stern to Janet Todd?
Number 708, is that what we're looking at?
Yeah,
Okay.
708.
Yes.
And can you tell me what that email is?
This is an update from Ashley and stating that some suggestions, increase internal control strength to help, and we have a limited town staff, outside consultant is an option. She just a couple recommendations,
And who's, Marshall Kemp is referenced in this?
previous mayor.
Okay. And when did you initially, engage with PKS? Are you aware?
The RFP was put out, it was due in the end of January. Mr. Godwin took it to council for approval in February of 2021. So they were actually engaged in February of 2021 by Mr. Godwin and the town council.
So PKS was engaged as of 2021?
Yes.
And if you go to the next page, it looks like this is a little disjointed, so we'll start at 7:10. And you sent an email to Ashley Stern on April 10th, 2025 at 7:18 a.m., correct?
Correct.
And what is your email about?
This was a follow-up from some things that were said at the council meeting presented by Mayor Brandon Cessna that I was not clear on, so I sent this to Ashley to get clarification on all of this because she had not relayed this information to me. She had relayed it to the mayor.
Okay, you're saying the mayor said PKS said this?
PK, at the meeting that night, he made these statements, so
Okay.
I reached out to her to verify.
So the meeting on is it April 9th? The April 9th meeting would be?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. You're saying Brandon, the mayor had made some allegations regarding your performance?
Yes, I typed in there exactly what he said.
Okay. And can you read it for the record, please?
Good morning, myself and two other council do I need to go? Yeah. Good morning, myself and two other council members need some clarification on things stated at the council meeting last night. Mayor Brandon Cessna stated, number one, you said the town needs to hire someone to review and reconcile the books monthly because I am not doing it correctly. Number two, he stated that you have been working on the audit for 5 years and it has taken that long because you would request things and I did not get them to you in a timely manner. I agree there were things that took time to gather from prior years. Number three, he stated due to me not getting you things in a timely manner, I caused the bill for your services to be run up to $45,000. Number four, he stated it is also taking longer because there are suspicious things which indicated I may be mishandling funds. If you can please clarify these statements, I need this information to decide a course of action with myself and council. Thank you.
And that was sent April 10th, 2025 at 7:18 a.m.
Correct.
Okay, it looks like she responds fairly promptly on that same date. If you go to the left side of the page, which is actually date stamp 709, she responds just like, it looks like 3 or 4 minutes later. And what is Ashley's response?
Janet, I'm speechless at this point. At this point, I think the best thing to do would be to get the mayor, council members, yourself and us in a room and not in public session where there is a political motive. To me, it seems anything we say is getting misconstrued and misunderstood, and it is impeding our progress and costing the town more of our time. I am happy to set this meeting up after 4:15, but we cannot keep having separate conversations that are being reverberated in incorrect manners. I will also not continue to write letters about things that are outside the scope of our audit. Please let me know the best way to set this meeting up.
Okay. So it seems like Ms. Stern's kind of taken aback by the accusations. Is that your interpretation of
Yes.
characterization?
Yes.
And we talked about it. These email exchanges April 10th, 2025, right?
Correct.
So approximately a little over 1 month later, they actually present to the council, correct?
Yes, yes.
And during that meeting, they do not confirm any of the allegations that the mayor stated on the April 9th meeting, did they?
No,
And do you recall them saying that there was no instances of non-compliance at the May 2014, 2025 meeting?
yes, I went back and watched the meeting, yes.
And did you recall that they actually said these problems are similar to other small towns?
Yes,
And they actually recommended to hire more people, correct?
yes,
And did council make recommendations to hire more people?
no,
And I believe they talked about the reason why the audit taking so long for 2020 is that previous records had to be recreated.
yes,
And did those records predate your time as town manager?
yes,
And was there also an issue that there was a changing of banks which delayed the process?
yes. It was PNC Bank originally, and all accounts were switched to Community Bank. When we reached out to PNC for older statements, we kept calling, couldn't get them. Mayor Kemp reached out to them, and then finally, I got a hold of them and sent Roger Breeding from Public Works to pick up the envelope of the bank statements.
And was there also delay because of a change in software?
Yes, we switched from enhanced billing software to UMS in September of '21.
And did PKS ever state during that meeting that you were not providing documents?
No,
Now, let's go to what's Bait Stamp 711 in that same Exhibit 25. Now, one of the allegations in the testimony of the investigator was that you were trying to control information so that only you would be a point of contact for PCAS. I believe I'm paraphrasing what he testified to. Can you read, this looks to be a July 11, 2025, 1:20 p.m. email to you from Ashley Stern where Erica Van Vessen is also copied. Who's Erica Van Vessen?
she is she's a supervisor there, and she's the one that actually came here with her team, so she works for PKS.
Okay. She came here with her team to the town hall?
Yes, they spent a week here,
Okay. And did you respond to all their requests?
absolutely.
And what does Ashley Stern's email say on this?
Janet, I will let you and the council/mayor work through any voting that needs to take place to make this happen. From our perspective, we need just one point of contact, not 3 or 4 with different requests, which has been happening. It just costs the town more money when that happens. Thanks, Ashley.
Does it appear in this email that they don't want to be talking to other members of council? They want to be having one point of contact?
Yes, and she told me that on the phone as well.
And do you know why that's important?
She said things get misconstrued, gets lost in translation, and it keeps them having one contact more. Everything stays more organized, I guess. Organized would be the word, but that way if they need something, they don't have to call several different people and give updates.
Okay, and one of the statements you made to the investigator was that you believe other council members were also contacting the auditor during this time, and they wanted PKS to appear at council meeting, correct?
Yes.
And it looks like there's a July, on Bait Stamp 712, there's a July 11, 2025 email from Ms. Stern to you where Ms. Van Vessen is also copied. And what is Ms. Stern communicating in that email?
Janet, I just spoke with a council member. Our scheduling team is done 3+ months in advance at a time based on commitments to all clients. That doesn't mean we don't have some flexibility, but it may mean we have other commitments and may not be able to attend certain meetings without proper request/notice. We do our best to flex for any necessary request without the detriment of another client or our team schedules outside of business hours. I currently have a call scheduled with the mayor on July 16th at 2 p.m. and have not received a request from council or the mayor to attend a nighttime meeting next week. As mentioned to a council member, we might not be able to attend every meeting, especially without proper notice. I currently have another commitment, 6 p.m. Wednesday the 16th. I am going to make an attempt to move this meeting. Going forward, we have asked that the mayor be the point of contact related to any council request so it doesn't put you in this awkward position. If council needs us at a meeting, we have asked that the mayor reach out and ask with proper notice. Thanks.
So, one of the things that the investigator said, you testified to him, is that they were scheduling 3 months in advance.
Correct.
Does this confirm that they were actually scheduling 3 months in advance?
Yes.
Is it practical to have them, I think one of their directives was that they be at every meeting every month?
Mr. Nelson made a motion for them to be there frequently, but I don't remember the frequency, but it was very frequent.
Okay, and based on this email, it looks like that she's actually, asking that the mayor request any kind of, attendance, request, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have a problem with that?
No. Well, I say no, but if he had kept me in the loop, but he wasn't, so I guess the answer would be yes, I didn't have a problem with that.
Okay, when you say he kept you in the loop regarding what?
He was not letting me know anything about calling the auditors, any document, I didn't even know he was calling them until she actually told me.
So the mayor did not communicate to you, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and call PKS myself?
No.
Does that cause any kind of problems?
Yes.
And what kind of problems does it cause?
Everybody's not on the same page, and it is not something a council member is supposed to do. If you look at the duties of a council member, the day-to-day operations are to be done by supervisors, which would be chief and myself.
It also looks like Councilman Nelson contacted her.
Yes, I see that at the bottom of this email.
And what date is that email?
July 11th, 2025.
Now, so at this point in time, you have the mayor having a scheduled call, you have yourself calling as a point of contact, and you have Dan Nelson point of contact. That's 3 separate people contacting the auditor?
And previous councilman Brenda Talent was contacting them as well.
I didn't hear that. Previous council member
Brenda Talent, Tallent.
was contacting them?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Let's go to Spate Stamp 715. It looks like this is an email from yourself to Erica Van Vessen, subject update. What is this email communicating?
This is updating Erica, who, like I said, was a supervisor there, of what I had explained to town council about their scheduling, and that the councils, there were some members that would not accept that explanation. So I provided the letter that she had given me with an update on the audit to them, and they requested that she attend the meeting Wednesday at 6:30 in person. So I asked her if that was possible or not. And the chief stated, on Wednesday, you are requesting things for him that are not his responsibility and are using his officers' hours to try and locate them, and stated, it is the town being audited, not the police department. And I attempted to explain it is one and the same, but had no success. My sincere apologies for this.
And what was there any conflict between you and the police chief regarding getting these records?
Yes.
And can you explain that conflict?
When Erica and her team were here for that week, she had requested grant documents and different things that pertain to the police department but pertain to finances. She came into my office and sat at the small table in there and asked me to reach out to the chief to come to talk to us. I sent him an email because he had instructed me not to call him on his phone, everything email. Sent him an email and I said, Erica is here from the auditor, she would like to speak to you about finances. He came in and he told Erica, she said, sit down please, Janet would like to be in here. And he said, if it's about my department, no, come to my department. He took her over there.
Now, you're communicating, in this July 11, 2020, you're communicating it's not possible for you them to attend every meeting.
Right.
For them to attend every meeting?
Them to attend every meeting. When you say them, you're talking about the auditors, right?
Yes.
And did council accept that? Or did all of council, any council members have a problem with that?
No, they did not accept it. They, all except Mr. Massey had a problem with all my communications with the auditors.
Now, I'm looking at a date stamp 7/16 in this exhibit 25. And this looks like an email from yourself to Vice Mayor Massey.
Yes.
And what is that email communicating?
I forwarded the email, he had called and asked about the auditors if they were coming to the meeting because he had heard, he didn't get any direct communication from the mayor, he had heard that they'd been requested. So I forwarded him and I said, this is the email from Ashley at PKS below. And I also said, do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Okay. Please see below email from the auditor. I have always been the point of contact with vendors, and I do the agenda, so I'm not sure why the mayor would be the one to contact vendors or other council members. This leads to accusations, as we had at the last meeting, where things are relayed and accusations are at me that I cannot defend because that one council member was the only one in the meeting. If a council member wants to meet with someone, that is part of my job, I should be in attendance, such as when you met with the auditors and I attended as well. Also, I do not think it's appropriate for one council member, mayor, to meet with the auditors and attempt to relay to the council at a public meeting what was said. I'm also attaching the town charter as to what my duties are, as well as what the mayor's duties. If the council wishes to let the mayor do so, or an individual council member, there should be a vote to such. Also notice the highlighted sentence below from the auditor, as she has been contacted both by the mayor and an additional council person today. Not only costing the town money, but again, making the town look ridiculous as people recognize the perception of council not trusting their town manager. An update was provided in writing to everyone at the meeting on Wednesday night, so I'm not sure what the point is in paying the auditor to come to the meeting next week, as she will have no more information at that time than she has now, versus waiting until next month. All of this is for your informational purposes only, thank you.
Just 2 months prior to this, the auditors did attend the council meeting and give a presentation.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna try to complete this, see if there's any more emails between the auditor and yourself. If you go to 7/22, looks like there'll be an email from yourself to Erica Van Vesten and Ashley Stern dated July 16, 2025.
Yes.
And what is that email conveying?
I sent to her, to Erica and Ashley at PKS. I agree, thank you. I just want to make sure I have accurate information if I should be grilled at the meeting tonight. I meant ask.
Are you trying to make a joke there?
Yes, there's a little smiley face at the end.
And that's in response to the Erica's email that date at 3:14 p.m. saying they're doing the 220 audit and currently engaged in working the 2021 audit.
Yes,
And they're telling you that basically they're doing 1 year at a time.
yes,
Now, these appears to be all the emails from the auditors to yourself. In any of those emails, did you see them complaining about documentation that you have not provided?
no,
Now, there's an issue regarding unreconciled accounts. Can you explain what was happening regarding unreconciled accounts?
Wigglesworth, Moyers, and Chance were hired to reconcile all of the bank accounts from 2019 to whatever that letter said. I apologize, I don't remember where it was.
That's the letter we just referenced.
Yes, yes,
So you believe that was being handled?
absolutely,
And the council knew Wigglesworth was retained to do such?
yes.
And did Wigglesworth have communications with you regarding how they were doing that?
Yes, Matthew Chance and Dave Chu, those two people are the ones that had frequent contact.
I didn't hear you after that. Those two people are the ones that have,
Had frequent contact with myself.
thank you.
So we've dealt with the failure to maintain accurate financial records. How did you maintain accurate financial records as town manager?
Everything was entered into QuickBooks. As far as invoices, we had several years in there because we didn't have filing cabinets or room. Just before I was suspended after the auditors were here for that week and we talked about different things to implement. I ordered new filing cabinets, so we were in the process of splitting the files out. We had, working with the auditors again, we had created a financial policy, I can't remember the name of it. I had gotten a sample from another town, we were working on implementing all sorts of things for that. I did the payables, council came and signed the checks. Carolyn entered all the, tax bills and water bills, she entered all the payments. She processed the deposits.
Did you ever get were there recommendations on, by the accounting firm, or excuse me, by the auditors on how to handle things differently?
Yes,
And were you open to implementing those?
yes, I asked for that.
Now, the second charge is failure to discharge your duty to carry out audit-related tasks. Did you not issue an RSP for, in the charge, it says you did, failed to issue an RFP to PSK for fiscal years 21 to 24.
An RFP is a request for proposal, and they had already been contracted to do those years when Mr. Kemp was mayor.
Did you fail to provide monthly written audit status updates to the council?
No, and in their packets every month, there were financials, and they had the ability to ask me any questions that they would like.
And did they ask you questions?
Sometimes,
Were there some times when there was no update?
a lot of the times.
And I believe we just discussed the notion that you did not invite PKS to the July 2025 meeting.
Correct.
Now, why didn't you notify them earlier to come to the July meeting?
I honestly don't remember. I don't know the answer to that. I'm assuming it was, I'm not gonna assume. If the motion to have me do that was at a June meeting, by the time according to her email, how much notice they needed, it wouldn't have been in that time frame. But I don't honestly know the answer to that. It wasn't intentional.
Now, did the investigator ever question you about why didn't you, did he talk to you did he tell you that you were mandated by the town charter to conduct audits on an annual basis?
He didn't tell me I was mandated by the charter, I don't believe. He just told me it was in my job description and it was my duty.
And you read the investigative report,
I
correct?
did.
One of the charges that your failure to comply with town council directives and administrative requirements. Did you ever deny town council members access to financial files?
I did not. In a public meeting, Mr. Donovan requested a different financial report from QuickBooks, but he didn't know the name of it. So I invited him to come to the office. I said, come by one day, I'll put QuickBooks up on the TV, you show me what you want, and I'll print that for you, but he never did come into the office.
Now, this improper claiming authorization of overtime, did you have any discussions with town council regarding your wages or how much you were being paid?
No, I was hired hourly, and after that, there were no further discussions as to how I was being paid.
When did you first, did you ever see anything called a wage theft report that's referenced in the investigative report?
I have not.
Did you know Councilman Nelson was putting together a wage theft report?
I did not.
I'll object, I don't know that that's a fact in the record. I think the one other question that was asked about that was whether the investigator knew anything about who prepared it. He said he did not, so.
He testified that Councilman Nelson was one of the individuals that put together the report.
My recollection is that he gave it maybe in hard copy, but I do not think that was his testimony.
So, there was.
Well, it's just a question anyways, whatever's in the record's the
That's
record.
right. So if you would like to rephrase the question, does she know who prepared the report?
Did you have any idea that there was this report?
I had no idea. I did not know payroll was even an issue in this investigation. I had no idea this report existed.
It talks about a town's comprehensive overtime and wage theft report. Were you ever interviewed as part of that?
No, sir.
Did you have any discussions with previous mayors regarding overtime or wages?
The only discussion I had was with Mr. Donovan. I do not remember the date where he said I should be salaried because it would save the town money, but it was never voted on by the town council.
You, now, there's this allegation regarding failure to maintain professional conduct and that you were combative in your role with the town manager. Excuse me, you were combative with the mayor during a town council meeting. How do you respond to that?
The mayor came at me very unprofessionally, and I came back stern, and I did not perceive it as unprofessional. I perceived it as I was defending myself.
Did you ever explain to him that you were having medical issues at that time?
Not that night,
Not that night, but did you
but he
ever?
knew before that. Everybody knows that I had surgery.
What medical issues were you having that might have affected your?
I had 2 brain tumors removed. I still currently have a small one, and stress can make me have seizures. So if I get in a situation like that, I just remove myself from the situation.
And did you ever email the mayor or anyone explaining to him that that could have been the cause of your you leaving the meeting?
Yes,
And did you have discussions with him regarding that?
I don't know if we had, I don't know if we had one face to face. I don't remember.
But you recall having you recall sending an email.
Absolutely.
And did he follow up with any discussion regarding that?
No.
Now, there's this discussion regarding a meeting, after a meeting where you allegedly cursed about Chief Walton. Can you explain, did that happen, or
No.
what happened?
Mr. Massey, the meeting was over. Mr. Massey and I went into my office. I do not remember what we were talking about, but it was not related to the meeting or an employee. And I don't even remember Chief walking by, to be honest with you, but I was not loud, I was not cursing. I may have said a curse word, but I was not cursing.
Who were you referencing?
I don't remember, it wasn't work related. Mr. Massey, to be honest with you, Mr. Massey has an ex-wife that I know, we were just talking about things. I was frustrated, he was frustrated, so we were just kind of venting to each other, but it was not about the chief.
Did Chief Walton confront you about the situation?
No, not that night, nobody walked into that office that night, that I remember.
You also accused of lack of candor and misrepresentation to town council regarding the K-9 program. Can you explain what happened during, how the K-9 program came about?
I was on vacation, I believe it was May, and I came back and Mr. Eichmann had given me a red folder which has their invoices in it, and I opened it, and there was a veterinarian bill. So I couldn't get a hold of him, so I put a sticky note on it, sent it back and said, do we have a dog? And that's when Mr. Eichmann said, talk to the chief about it. He told me not to talk to you. So I reached out to the chief, and I asked the chief, could I speak with him? He and I sat in this room. He gave me a copy of a contract where he had taken custody of the dog under the town's name, I believe May 1st, and said, I just went ahead and got the dog, Brooke wanted it, we got it, his first words were, I don't even want a damn dog. That was his first words to me. He said, but it's about officer retention, so Brooke has a dog. And I said, where are you getting the funds? This bill is $834, I think it was. The dog's 7 years old, and when we formed our, group, I guess you would call it, where we met and talked about finances, we agreed we were gonna try to wait and find finances and a whole bunch of other things, and then when I got back from vacation, there was a dog.
Okay, so you had a working group, I believe, Kevin Eichman was just discussing that?
Yes.
And what was discussed during the working group?
Corporal Tucker had presented several different spreadsheets of cost for the canine, if it was a new dog, and I did use the term green dog, but I don't know where I got that from, but, if it was gonna be a new dog, if it was gonna be a dog they would buy, if it was gonna be a donated dog, and she had costs on there such as food, the equipment for the dog, it wears, I think, a vest and some other things, the outfit, the car, all of the canine on the spreadsheet. Sergeant Thomas was in the meeting as well, the first meeting. We asked to bring in Corporal Tucker, the chief did not want to do that. So I said, until you can figure out how to pay for it, that's what we need to do first. We need to figure out how to pay for it, where it's gonna be housed, all that stuff before you get a dog. So that when we walked out of the room, that was the agreement.
And was any other actions taken between the time that you had that meeting and the time that you get the veterinary bill?
They got a dog, but I didn't know that at that time, but the dog was there at Brooke's house,
And
Corporal Tucker's house.
Did you make any misrepresentations to council regarding that dog?
Councilwoman Jones requested to go into executive session one night. She had gotten information, she stated, from Corporal Tucker about where she got the dog. The dog's name was Emma. It had been donated from a kennel, that it was 7 or 8 years old, that it had been rescued from a abusive situation, I believe were her words. But these were all, everything, the information that I had been relayed to me from Councilwoman Jones.
And was any of that information incorrect or false that you
Yes.
know of?
I didn't know at the time, no. And I also presented the veterinarian bill and asked them where do you want to get the money to pay this, and they decided they were not gonna pay it at that time.
And what was incorrect that you presented to them that you later found out was correct?
The dog did not come from an abusive situation according to the kennel lady. The kennel lady came to the next meeting. It didn't come from an abusive situation. The date of birth, November of 2018 was correct, so the dog was 7 years old. The dog had a cyst on its hip. All of that was correct information, but the incorrect was really just it came from an abusive situation. And the council said that I was wrong because I said it was sick.
Now, how did you get that information, or why did you believe that?
Councilwoman Jones told me that she received it from Corporal Tucker, so Corporal Tucker had the dog, so I assumed it to be accurate.
Okay. Now, when you first had the working group, I believe the chief testified that you were generally supportive of canine information.
Yes, when we started trying to figure things out, after we had our meeting, I contacted Philip Signs and got them to donate lettering for the car for free. I reached out to Councilwoman Cindy Green. She had given the town a grant for a project that was not going to happen, and I said, can we move some of that money to the police department? She said, absolutely. So I had Kevin reached out to her to verify it, so I helped them get some funding to get going. I gave Corporal Tucker a phone number to Mr. Altizer to set up the Kiwanis Chicken Barbecue fundraiser.
Say that again for me, the
Awesome.
name and,
You're talking a little fast for the corporate.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Altizer, Altizer. I gave Corporal Tucker his phone number for the Kiwanis Chicken Barbecue fundraiser.
thank you.
So basically the allegation is that you purposely sabotaged, provided false information, you sabotaged a program that you were initially supportive of?
That's not true. I initially supported, I still would support it if the town could afford it. But the way it was going about, I did not support. But I support the program.
Does Corporate Tucker have a dog now that's working with her?
No,
Is that because you sabotaged it in some way, or?
No, at the council meeting Wednesday night, it was stated by the chief that they cannot find anybody to train the dog.
Okay. There's this allegation regarding, well, let's just to put a pin on that issue. Were you taking, you were not against a dog program, correct?
Correct,
Okay, you just didn't like how it was handled?
correct.
Now, I believe the chief testified that the town hadn't approved the dog prior to him purchasing one, correct?
Correct.
Is he allowed to just purchase a dog based on your understanding?
No, based on the chart, the way I interpret the charter, it should have came to council first.
What kind of issues can a police dog present as for a small town like this?
Not only financially, you've got the liability, you know, the dog is currently housed at Corporal Tucker's house and Chief testified it's uninsured. So if it bites somebody, it's gonna be on the town because the contract is in the town of Greenwood. It's a small, department, so finances are a big deal there, so.
Now, there's an allegation that you failed to act on information regarding a police officer.
Yes,
And do you recall receiving some kind of email?
I did not until Mr. Campanella brought it up. I hadn't given another thought, but I remember now, yes.
Okay, and what do you recall receiving and what actions did you take?
There was an email that came about an officer. You don't want me to name the officer?
Correct.
Yes, there was an email that I received about an officer stating accusations that, do you want me to state the accusations?
Well, you can take it in general, like, you can just say it was a complaint. I think that would be
Yeah,
appropriate.
it was a complaint about the officer's personal behavior. Councilwoman Jones was in the office and I showed it to her and she said, she did not take it as a serious complaint. So she said, reach back and get a phone number, I'll give them a call. I sent an email back and said something to the effect of, please send me your phone number and we can discuss it, and I never got another response.
Okay.
So I did ask the officer that it was about, I just said the person's name, and I said, if you're familiar with this person, and he said, yes, I've arrested him many times.
I didn't hear that, yes,
I've arrested him many times.
thank you.
Okay, and did the email request some type of internal affairs complaint, investigation or something like that?
I don't remember an internal affairs, they just said the person, the complaint was up for chief of police, so he should be investigated, but he was not up for chief of police.
Okay. And you did show it to Councilwoman Jones, is
Yes,
that correct?
I did. We did not have a police chief at the time.
Now, there's talk about that you were seeking special favors for your husband for hunting access. Did you intend to use your managerial position to get special hunting access for your husband?
No. I knew Mr. Kenton before he submitted, he's actually a realtor as well as DE Storage. And he and I had talked about, because Mrs. Morelli owned the property before he bought it, and my husband hunted out there, so that's how it transpired. I cannot give a developer favors because I don't handle zoning applications, I don't vote on projects, I have no influence over their projects.
Now, when you left town hall, or when did you find out that you were suspended?
I arrived at work the morning of August 13th. I tried to get the back door, not this door, the one over there, open on my office, and we've had problems with it sticking. And finally I pulled and I heard something look up, and it had been zip tied from the inside with zip ties like the police department uses. There was a couple zip ties on the door. So I assumed I was fired for some reason because of issues I've had with council, so I started to load my things up. First I called the mayor, that was my first phone call, he did not answer nor call me back. I called Mr. Moran, He did not give me any indication what was going on. I called Vice Mayor
Wait,
Massey.
did you talk to Ms. Moran?
I believe so, but I think I did talk to Mr. Moran.
And did Ms. Moran say, hey, you're suspended, leave?
No,
Or
no.
what did he say?
I believe he said, I don't know what's going on, you need to call the mayor.
And you had already called the mayor?
Yes, and he did not call me back, so I reached out to Vice Mayor Massey, woke him up, he came up here. He did not know what was going on because he was not in the executive session the previous night. So he helped me, I had already put some of my personal things, some flowers, some other things in my trunk. He tried to reach out to the mayor, and so I loaded my items up and I left. Then I still had no idea, no paperwork, so I emailed Mr. Cessna from my personal email and said, is there a letter of suspension? Can you please send me a copy of it? And he did later that day.
Okay, so prior to that date, you did not know you were, did not receive notice of suspension or that you were not working that day?
No, sir.
Okay, did you remove any town property that day, such as files or anything like that?
I had a small white binder with my employee handbook in it, that belonged to me, I did take that, and everything else. There was a big bag of snacks that came out of a drawer in my office, I took those, I took the flowers that a resident had gave me that were in a crock, everything that I took belonged to me. I did have my work cell phone and my keys in my purse. When I got home, I turned around and came back with 2 witnesses, and I turned everything in and had Carolyn sign the paper that I had returned all my belongings.
I'm gonna go through some documents here. If you can go to exhibit, actually, this is yours, exhibit 5, under Todd. Some of this is just gonna be, so we already discussed, but it's gonna be, so it can be entered into the record. Actually, let's go to exhibit 6 first, if you could. And that's bait stamp JT0009. Have you seen this document before?
Yes,
And what is it?
this is the result of an investigation from the Delaware State Public Integrity Commission.
I'm just going to object to this exhibit and any question about it. This is the subject of a motion that was pretty, vociferously argued by both sides, I believe. The motion was denied. There was also an effort to append the motion that was filed and the analysis that was done on whether or not recusal would be appropriate. At this point in time, just continuing to revisit this, considering that's already been litigated, is just ending this process.
So the motion was for recusal. Is there a specific objection to this document?
Yes, because this is the document that formed the basis for that. There's no other basis for it, aside from the idea that there is some bias from the subject involved, which has already been litigated through the motion for recusal. So it's not relevant. There's no discipline anywhere having to do with this document in her file.
Has this document been in the town's possession?
I don't know.
Can anybody provide some foundation, Mr.?
Sure. This documentation is addressed to Mr. Sharp. I think it's a public record. The title of it's Town of Greenwood, Donald Donovan. Let's see if there's any CC here.
Well, if it's public record, then I don't know, he can refer to it as closing or whatever, but it doesn't make sense to me as an exhibit.
And it
I don't think
certainly
it's relevant for that purpose.
was sent to the town solicitor, so.
Who is Mr. Sharp?
Jamie Sharp is the solicitor for the town, but I don't know the ins and outs of when and how everything gets communicated from Mr. Sharp to the town itself. I can't answer anything.
We'll allow it in. Obviously, the council members will give it the due consideration if it's appropriate.
Can you tell me what this document is?
Yes, this is a document dated June 13th, 2024, which are findings for a complaint against Councilman Donald Donovan through the Delaware State Public Integrity Commission.
And were you a complainant or a witness in this investigation?
Yes,
And what was the complaint exactly?
There's complaint about Mr. Donovan, using his family's garage, signing checks for family members. There was a host of different items.
Can you just go down the list of what exactly what the
Yes.
issues were?
The town, under facts, the town paid Mr. Donovan's grandson for lawn mowing services and did so without public notice and bidding. Mr. Donovan required all town vehicles be serviced at his relative's repair business. Mr. Donovan's son-in-law purchased town property. Mr. Donovan's daughter and son-in-law both own non-conforming businesses in the town. The businesses are not required to comply with the requirement that vacancies be renewed.
Now, were you the citizen as far as the complainant in this matter?
Was that the one, I'm sorry?
Were you the citizen that they're referring to? It says this in March 2024, citizen sent information to our commission council.
Yes.
And what was, it looks like what was the conclusion, if you can go to the last page, which is JT00013.
Conclusion, Mr. Donovan had a conflict of interest when he reviewed and disposed of matters related to paying his grandson and paid town monies to his son-in-law's business. In the future, he must recuse himself from making decisions about his relatives. Please contact our office to set up a training date.
I'd like to enter this as Todd Exhibit 6. Some of this is going to be out of order because I don't want to enter, we put together an exhibit packet, but I don't want to enter things that I don't think are consequential. But,
So for housekeeping and orientation, Exhibit 6 can come in, but physically, Exhibit 6 blends right into Exhibit 7 because you've got double-sided printing here.
Oh, I'm sorry,
So for the record, Exhibit 6 is constituted of pages Bates number JT0009 through 0013.
And if I can go to Exhibit 5. What is this document?
This letter is a letter from Ligori and Morris, Mr. Jim Ligori. I went and consulted with him after things became tense around here after the Public Integrity Commission complaint, and spoke with him, and he sent a letter to Stephanie Ballard, who was town solicitor at that time, discussing the issues with the workplace.
And what is Mr. Ligori communicate, and what's the date of the letter?
February 26, 2024.
And what is Mr. Ligori, what concerns is Mr. Ligori communicating?
It says, the relationship between my client Janet Todd and her employer, the town of Greenwood, has gotten increasingly toxic, personal, and vicious because town actors Donald Donovan, Brenda Talent, and Marshall Kemp, individually and in concert, have made the workplace not only hostile but uncomfortable. It has reached a tipping point now where I am told that Marshall Kemp is requesting an executive session for personnel, and I suspect one of the topics will be Janet Todd. Be advised, if it is the intent to have an executive meeting concerning Janet Todd and her performance, she demands the meeting be in public.
Now, when you accuse that the environment had become increasingly toxic, personal, and vicious, what do you mean by that?
The three people named in this letter, any interactions we had, verbal, anything, they were not professional. They would, at council meetings, they would, how can I explain this? I'll just say that things had become non-professional from them. They would come into the office, speak to Carolyn, walk right by me, they wouldn't speak to me. It was just, and Mrs. Talent, there was a whole string of emails with her that happened.
And did anything improve after this February 26, 2024 letter?
No.
I'd like to enter this as Exhibit, Todd Exhibit 5. I do have a clean copy without the double-sided that Ms. Todd's looking at, so perhaps that can be.
Yeah, I'm gonna object as to relevance.
We'll allow it in, but to Mr. Polk, on your point, I think Exhibit 5 is clean. It is JT007 and 0008, and that stands alone so far as a physical record. I don't know if you have to replace, is what I'm saying. I don't think you have to replace.
Understood you. I just think is the court reporter gonna be just housekeeping, the court reporter gonna be taking care of the exhibits or
They're gonna be, as far as I understand, they're gonna be emailed to me.
email? Okay,
Well,
so,
we can handle that after the hearing.
understood. I just wanted to make clarify.
Did you want me to read page 2 or no?
Yes, go ahead.
Hence, I encourage you to explain to your client that Ms. Todd will address all their inquiries in an open council meeting where there will be not only transparency, but also testimonial security. Litigation is contemplated for the future. Respectfully, James E. Ligori.
So as of February 26, 24, you're requesting pursuant to, is it the FOIA law,
Yes,
that and I believe that law allows personnel, employee to waive any meeting be closed and be open,
yes,
correct?
it's under the open meeting law portion of FOIA, I believe, that you can waive your right to have it discussed in public.
Other than today's hearing, has there been any open meetings discussing your personnel matters?
Not other than when there was a vote to do away with the performance improvement plan, but as far as my job performance, no, they've all been done executive.
If we can go to Bates stamp JT0014, Exhibit 7. Can you tell me what this document is?
This document is dated July 3rd, 2024, from the Poliquin firm to Jamie Sharp, the town solicitor for the town of Greenwood. And it is to Mr. Sharp that I'm writing as I'm taking over representation from Mr. Ligori for Ms. Todd. My client is increasingly concerned with the hostile work environment and retaliation she is facing as a result of her participation and cooperation with the Public Integrity Commission, which resulted in finding against former mayor, current councilman Donald Donovan. As stated previously, Ms. Todd requests that any council meeting regarding her employment be open to the public. I would be happy to confer with you on these matters. Thank you sincerely, Ronald Poliquin.
What was your concern as July 2024? What was happening?
I don't know if it was a specific incident or just the accumulation of more of the daily things. I couldn't tell you exactly for that meeting.
All right, well, generally speaking, what was going on regarding how council was treating you?
Oh, same thing, no communication, refusing to speak to me. Council meetings were getting more tense, I guess would be the word, when only during the town manager report portion. If the police and the town manager both give a report, a verbal report, at every council meeting. So chief would give his, and they'd say, okay, thanks. When I gave mine, it was always lots of questioning, which is fine. I don't mind asking questions, but it was more questions that were becoming more personally aimed at specific things, I guess, is how I would explain it. And also because it was on an agenda, which may have been this one, it was on an agenda that Mr. Donovan, to have a vote from Mr. Sharp to represent Mr. Donovan with the Public Integrity Commission, and I asked for it to be on an agenda, and then that became an issue.
If we go to JT0016. This looks to be an email exchange between you and Councilman Moran as of August 18th, 2025, is that correct?
August 16th.
Excuse me, August 16th, 2025.
Yeah.
7:20 what are you communicating here and what is this email you're sending out to?
I sent this to Mr. Moran and Mr. Massey, who I had had a good working relationship from council. This was after I was suspended, and I sent them an email to let them know how upset I was about it, and that I enjoyed working with them, what I inherited when I took over the job from the previous town manager, and basically that I was disappointed in the situation with the suspension. It saddens and angers me of how it was handled, and I thank them always for their support, willing to answer my calls and address things on my behalf and being honest with me, so.
And what was your belief on why you got suspended?
At that time, I didn't really know why I was being suspended. To me, it was personal. Because I had never had a verbal warning, a written warning. I'd gotten 6 raises since I took over, or since I became working for the town. And then all of a sudden, I was being labeled as horrible.
Do you believe
That's
that,
horrible, ma'am,
Yes,
did you say?
ma'am.
Thank you.
you believe that was a retaliation against you
Yes.
and retaliation for what?
Retaliation for the Public Integrity Commission, along with, and I'll just keep it brief because it's already been addressed, property issues with Mr. Donovan's daughter, and issues such as that. And Mr. Nelson's, I never really had conversation with Mr. Nelson until he was appointed to council, but he came at me right out of the gate, not respectful in my opinion, but I had never had any crosswords with Mr. Massey or Mr. Moran. So I just wanted them to know that I appreciated it. So that's what that was. And then Mr. Moran answered, it's on the same page. Hope all's well, I appreciate all my help over the years. Without your help, I would not have been able to finish out a couple months so smoothly. We worked very well together. If we had problems, we talked it out and worked it out together. You may not live in town, but it clearly shows how much you care about the people and the town of Greenwood and all the great things you have done over the years. I will be forever grateful for having you, being a part of my life and in town with a great friend, and I will continue to fight for you and what is right. I hope when all this BS is over, you still want to be here because you were the reason I decided to come back. We have some more big things to accomplish. Janet, you are the heart and soul of the town, because when the town people ask for something, you make it happen if you can, and for that, I thank you. I really appreciate you, and thank you for choosing us, Mike Moran.
Now, when did your PIP plan, when did performance improvement plan happen?
Originally, it was when Mr. Kemp was mayor, so that would have been in '24, October of '24.
If you could go to the base stamp JT0017, Exhibit 10. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And what is this document?
This is a document sent from the Poliquin firm dated October 24th, 2024 to Scott Wilcox, who the town had retained as an employment lawyer at that time, pertaining to me versus town of Greenwood. Dear Scott, July 3rd, 2024, I took over representation for Ms. Todd from Jim Ligori. Since that time, the work environment and retaliatory actions against my client has only increased. In my July 3rd letter and in Mr. Ligori's letter, February 26, 2024, Ms. Todd requested any council meetings regarding her employment be open to the public. That request continues. That request was ignored on the August 27, 2024 executive session meeting, where her performance was discussed without her knowledge, as well as the gathering of emails with council members in order to draft the document you are attempting to serve, and all council members are not even aware. It appears that the town council members are attempting to paper my client's file in retaliation of her participation and cooperation with the Public Integrity Commission, which resulted in findings against former mayor, current councilman Donald Donovan. I have become aware of alleged issues suddenly arising as pretext for discipline against Ms. Todd. As stated previously, Ms. Todd requests that any council meeting regarding her employment be open to the public. I would also like to be notified of any issues or council meetings where Ms. Todd's performance is discussed. I would be happy to confer with you on these matters to avoid litigation.
Is this another, this happening around your pit plan?
Yes,
Like to enter as, exhibit 10?
So enter.
If you go to exhibit 12, please. Do you recognize this document?
yes,
And can you review it? It goes to JT 0020, I believe it goes to JT 2022.
Does it go to 22 or 23?
Is that, does it go through 23, do you recall?
Say the end,
I said-
if you recall,
Do you recall if it goes through, where does it end?
23 is the last page.
I didn't hear you, ma'am.
23 is the last page. Yes,
You
ma'am.
said? Thank you.
And who drafted this document?
I did.
And why did you draft it?
The employee handbook, there's a policy in there of how to file a grievance if you have an issue with anyone, so the policy is to put it in writing and send it to your supervisor. So that is what I did. I drafted this and sent it to Vice Mayor Massey, he's one of the council members,
And it looks like this is a grievance against who?
Chief David Walton.
And what are you accusing Mr. Walton of?
Oh, wait a minute, let me wait for a minute. No, this was a grievance against Brandon Cessna.
Okay, and what are you accusing Mr. Cessna of?
So at this point, I'm just gonna lodge an objection because I don't see an email. I don't see a signature at the end of this. I understand she's testifying to it, I just don't see anything that indicates that this was ever actually filed anywhere.
Jay, can we have a little bar here on this?
Okay, did you draft this?
Yes,
Is there a reason why you didn't, sign it?
it was sent via email typed to Mr. Massey, and I believe you have a copy of
I have a copy, I just received this yesterday. This is an email,
I'm gonna
exchange.
object to that as well.
Can I just finish my statement and you can object? I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Please.
This is an email dated July 10th, 2025, which appears to include these grievances that were filed from, that were sent from Janet Todd to Anthony Massey. I understand they're late, but this is something that was questioned yesterday, so I attempted to get the email exchange that would verify these grievances were actually sent.
Can we go off the record for a minute, please?
Off the record?
Okay. Can we go outside and have a brief discussion? Mr. Hearing Officer?